Anyway, guys, welcome back to another video. Manchester City versus Liverpool at the weekend. It's going to be an absolutely huge game of football. It's going to be really interesting. Of course, a game like this doesn't really need much of an introduction. It's Anfield. It's Liverpool. It's two of the best teams in the Premier League. It's going to be absolutely momentous. And of course, given the context of this game, of course, after the Chelsea game, after the PSG game, what more could you possibly want from a game of football? And today, of course, I'm going to go through all the team news and all that kind of stuff. I would like you to hit the subscribe button. It'd be massively appreciated. I'm at 58,214 as I'm doing to this, as I'm talking right now. So let's get to 60k. I need about 1,500 more. It'd be really nice. Give this video a like and also hit the subscribe button. I want to say as well, and let me get the text up so I don't forget, but I want to say thank you as well to my latest little partner. I'm doing some work with a company called Football Prizes. Now, as you can see on screen here, Football Prizes do competitions where you enter, you pay to enter, and then you can be in the chance for a draw, essentially, for prizes such as this. There's links in the description. A Jack Grealish signed and custom framed Manchester City shirt. There's only 99 tickets and only about 60 have been sold, meaning you've got a very good chance of winning. It costs $5.95 to enter, but there's 20% off today because they've hit 10,000 followers, I think, on Facebook or something like that, or on Twitter. So you can enter by the end of 7:30 p.m. on Monday, the 4th, which is going to be really cool. I mean, a signed item. It will come with a certificate of authenticity, and for me, the most interesting one. The most interesting one is this here. There's one for the 2 Tunnel Club tickets for Burnley. It only costs 99p to enter, so £1 to enter, and it ends on the 5th of October, and you could win 2 Tunnel Club tickets to Burnley. I wish I could enter. I can't because I'm obviously pushing this, and no one would ever believe that I would win this. But I wait. All draws are conducted live on the Facebook page for Football Prizes. You can click the link in the description. You can find both of these competitions. And good luck, man. If you enter this and you somehow manage to win, I'd be very jealous. So go and enter those competitions. You can find them in the link in the description below. Good luck, and it'll be class. Hopefully you can win them, because I want to be able to win them, but I can't win them, unfortunately. But they look really good stuff. But this game obviously is going to be massive. Before we look towards Burnley and so on, let's look at this game of football. It's an interesting game of football. Obviously, we can't really ignore the history between Manchester City. We haven't really beat them at Anfield with fans since 2003, I think it is. Of course, we beat them during lockdown, which is absolutely awesome. But they are the fans of their club. Will probably rightfully say, look, they didn't do it. They didn't do it without the fans there, and we're a big part of this. And to be honest, I can't really deny the influence that the Anfield fans have on their club. It is one of those things, man. It is one of those things, and we have to be realistic and fair about it, because we would be saying the same thing if it was the other way around. So that would be a factor. Having said that, we have beat them. 4-1 last time around. I think Gabriel Jesus came on around the 60th minute, and then we went to town on them. Phil Foden scoring a lovely goal, of course, and creating another one as well. I think it was for Gundogan. Correct me if I'm wrong there. But either way, this game is going to be really interesting. Guardiola and Klopp had an awful lot to say about this game. I mean, there's absolutely loads and loads of quotes. I'll get on to Klopp on Manchester City. Klopp said they're outstanding, which is very nice of him. Thank you so much. He said they lost at PSG, and I said they strike back, but they don't have to. They played really good. How Man City dominated PSG says a lot about their quality. We have to pay properly. Man City, for me, says Jurgen Klopp, are the best team in Europe at the moment. Last weekend they played Chelsea, and they're good, but Man City were clearly better that day. That's the team we face. We have to score, but we have to defend on defend on our highest level. Ridiculous. He's right. We were very good. Guardiola said on the Manchester City versus Liverpool rivalry, which does exist. It's a new rivalry, but it's a new one that's growing. He said it's an honour to be a rival for Liverpool. Decades ago, we were not a rival to them, but we tried to compete against a legendary club, hopefully for them too. He also went on to say the way we played the last 2 games, I'm so satisfied. Of course, I'm happy when we won the Premier League, but in this kind of period, when Kevin De Bruyne trained 2 weeks, Phil Foden 2, players injured, we come back so late, and the level that we played at is so good. That's why I'm happier than ever. It's so difficult. It's not compared to the past. You have to try and do it again and know exactly where it comes from. Like we have done last season, almost impossible to do better. Still, we have many details, but we are still there after 6 years. That's why I'm so proud. Always I say to them, I cannot have words to express my gratitude the way we played these last 2 games. You know what? He's absolutely right. He's right that we have been playing really well. And he's right that actually things are looking really good for us. It's been really impressive, and I think we should generally be proud how the players have been playing. It's been a really interesting kind of time, basically. I'm I'm looking forward to this game. Over to the super chat, by the way, Samuel. Thank you so much, man. 2 months of a member, 2 months of being a member, Samuel. 2 months of having to read out. Mbappe abuse, is that? I think that's a typo of life. Well, I'll always read it out, mate. Thank you so much for being a member. Don't forget, you can be as well. Members get access as well. Second tier members to bonus videos, and of course, they can have their say as a fan on the fan view live afterwards. But this game is absolutely huge. Guardiola did also confirm that unfortunately, Gundogan and Zinchenko are still out. I don't know what's going on there. I know Zinchenko is doing some media stuff yet, actually, so he's not in crutches or anything like that. He's walking around kind of fine. But he's still not available, which is obviously a bit of... it's a bit of a downer, man. They're both quality players. I think we'll get him back after the international break. Guardiola was also talking about the atmosphere at Anfield. He said, I'm pleased it's full again. It's nice that the fans can come back and we can enjoy a fantastic atmosphere. Hopefully we can handle it in a good way. I'm sure the players enjoy to play more with fans in Anfield than without. Yeah, I'm sure they do. We can't deny it's going to be a really raucous game of football, man. It's going to be absolutely interesting. Guardiola was also bigging up Sterling, actually, talking about his movement and how he's really good at that kind of stuff, which obviously he's not wrong. His movement is very good in general. It's the other bit that he kind of gets wrong, Pep, unfortunately. Fingers crossed he improves on that front. Let's go over and try and predict the team together. This bit's going to be really difficult. Let's move these football prizes out the way. So we got a team lineup here, which I've dragged over. In terms of obviously predicting this team, there's certain things that we all know is going to happen. You know, I think this team might kind of sort of pick itself, if we're being honest. We could see the odd change here and there, but it's going to be Ederson in goal. You know, there's no real surprise there. Ederson in goal is a given, in my personal opinion. I mean, surely no one, maybe Carson, but surely no one's probably surprised about the idea of Ederson. You know, makes a lot of sense, does it? Defensively, I can't really see past Cancelo and Kyle Walker. I'm typing it in as I go here at right back. That makes an awful lot of sense as well. I mean, Zinchenko's not there. We are not going to play Joshua Wilson-Esbrand away at Anfield. That would be it'd be child abuse to some extent, man. Oops, I've gone onto the wrong screen. Apologies there. You can't do that. You can't do that to the lad, man. It would be absolutely cruel. He's a youngster making his way into the game. You can't put him there. It would be absolutely unfair. In terms of the centre backs, you're going to have Laporte, and it's going to be Ruben Diaz. I know that's really harsh in John Stones, but it's going to be them until he's got a reason not to play Laporte. I honestly think that's pretty much how it's going to be. It could be John Stones, but I do think it'll be Laporte and Diaz again. The good thing for us was how there's a bit of a break between the games, you know. Obviously, we all... we wish we weren't playing midweek, but it's not Wednesday to Saturday, it's Tuesday to Sunday. So in that instance, there's plenty of time for recovery between the games. So obviously Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a few whole days, and that's kind of good as far as I'm concerned, you know. So I will take that. A few whole days is always good. It's going to be Rodri in the middle as well. Rodri is absolutely banging form at the moment, and he has to be the holding midfielder, doesn't he? He was great against Chelsea. He was great against PSG as well. So Rodri, to me, is the clear choice. He's improving at a rate at the moment, which is really impressive. He's got an awful lot of criticism in the past, Rodri, but I can't really deny his quality. He's a fantastic player. And alongside as well, this man, alongside him, I'll put him in the team. There'll be more alongside each other. It's not kind of this here. We're used to the false eights, but when Rodri and Bernardo play in a game of this important, they're kind of more alongside each other like that, I would say. So you get more, it's more of a midfield like that kind of shape where Rodri and Bernardo are essentially a double pivot in this kind of team, man. It just works really well. They counter each other. You know, obviously they both have good awareness in general because they're intelligent footballers and they both use the ball really well. But what I would say Rodri slightly lacks is maybe the dynamism that Bernardo does have. So as a natural complement, they work really, really well together. Midfield, it's only going to be really one guy, isn't it? Kevin De Bruyne. He's not his best form yet, but he's Kevin fucking De Bruyne, man. He's Kevin De Bruyne. If you don't play Kevin De Bruyne, you're ultimately a bit of an idiot in these kind of games. He needs to find his best form, but it's going to be De Bruyne, especially with Ilkay Gundogan currently out of the team. So I think it's going to be De Bruyne there in midfield. It'll be him. It'll be him. Someone said maybe Laporte wasn't that great against PSG. I don't think he was not bad. He wasn't perfect, but he wasn't bad. So not enough to drop him, I reckon. But onto the left, I can see Jack Grealish there. Jack Grealish on the left, he's going to start this game, I reckon. He'll almost certainly be him. You know where this team is going, to be honest. I don't think Sterling will be starting in this game. Personally, I don't. I don't think he has great games at Anfield. Though, having said that, do not be surprised if Sterling does start, because last time out, he played really well against Gomez. Remember? He won the penalty against Gomez. I think he was genuinely decent there that time. But that was a while back now. It felt like a different lifetime ago. But he did have a good game. On the right, it is going to be Jesus. Gabriel Jesus will play. He's been so important. And Guardiola was actually talking about Jesus. Let me find the quotes. What did he say? Let me find the quotes very quickly. He was very busy today in the quotes from Guardiola. But he was talking an awful lot about Jesus. Where did he say? I'll see if I can just do a quick search and find. I can't find it. Either way, he was praising Jesus today, which is definitely earned. Jesus has been absolutely fantastic and definitely should be involved in the team. Through the middle, I mean, it's going to be a false nine. It's going to be Foden. We know this. He'll end up looking something like this. Foden, I mean, he's a little bit of a sacrificial lamb there because he's not as effective, but it's going to be something like that as far as I'm concerned. Torres won't start this game. It'll be Foden, because Foden, we're essentially going to do exactly what we did against Chelsea, in my personal opinion. It has to be that. It has to be that level of control. It has to be that level of organisation. And I think the reason he'll start this again is not because it worked so well. It's simply because this team knows what works so well. They're aware of their duties. They're aware of their role. And also, I'm really curious to see how we essentially push their fullbacks. There's no Trent Alexander-Arnold, so Grealish has got a really big job of running at Milner. Milner, of course, Milner is getting a bit older these days, so he'll be playing there. I would love to see, by the way, Foden on this side over here. So I've moved it around a little bit. Foden on this side with Jesus running about and chasing people. Jesus this way, that way. But Foden this side, because he's had two really good games against Robertson. Genuinely, Foden has been causing an awful lot of trouble against them in the past. He just tends to have it. But in general, as long as they're rotating around, I don't mind. Someone just said Foden never plays false nine. Well, he kind of did against Chelsea. And he did against Real Madrid once as well. Does no one remember that? I remember that. Malemo asked, do I think Torres doesn't start because his pressing is not as effective? If I'm being honest, probably, yeah. I don't think he's quite as good at pressing as the others. I don't think he's quite aware of it. I think Guardiola feels like... And also, I think there's a hierarchy. So, I know Foden's better at the left wing, but he'll play Grealish, and Grealish isn't going to change. So, I still think it'll be that. It'll be fluid, though. It'll be exactly... how it went. Wasn't Jesus the false nine with Chelsea? I don't think he was he? Someone can correct me if I'm wrong there, but I didn't feel like he was. Jesus was on the right and Foden was the false nine. I'm pretty certain he was, mate. Hashi Rico, the game was so crazy, so it's very hard to judge. I mean, if we go into Liverpool, let's get the Premier League table up. I'll have to do a bit of editing on the fly here, but let's get the Premier League table up. There's the Premier League table. Right now as it stands, Liverpool are currently obviously sat in first in 14 points with 13 us behind them, 6 games in so far. That's a really good position, and I'm generally very happy with that position so far, especially when we consider who the teams that we played, especially if we get through this game with a good result. Liverpool's results, let me just get their games over here as well and get them all on the screen, and a bit of editing on the fly as we go again. Obviously recent results, 3-0 away at Leeds, which is a very good result. Obviously a man sent off there for Leeds. They beat Liverpool 3-2 at Anfield, 3-0 against Crystal Palace, 3-0 against Norwich City. They did drop some points though the other day, which was obviously huge, absolutely huge. The Brentford game where they showed they are fallible, Obviously they battered Porto the other night. But let's have a look how they played against Brentford. Let me get the lineup on screen right now and how Brentford played. I have to do a bit of editing once again on the fly here. So this is how they played against Brentford. Alisson was in goal. Robertson, Alexander-Arnold obviously now out. Van Dijk, Jean Matip, Fabinho, Curtis Jones, Jordan Henderson, Salah, Jota and Sadio Mane. I would not be surprised to see a lot of these players essentially starting as well. Salah in particular, Jota and Mane. I think it could be Firmino. It could be Firmino because obviously he's really big to how they play. But I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't. It's just because Jota's obviously good in front of goal. I mean, the defence is going to be Milner at right back, isn't it? Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip. It could. I probably guess it would be that as well. Curtis Jones has done really well for them. He really has. But, you know, Brentford got him, and this is how they played. They played their wing-backs, of course, Rico Henry, getting forward really well. Mbuemo, which I love saying. Great name. Is that what you were on about before, by the way, Givas? Was it Mbuemo you meant to say? I can't remember. But either way, this is how they I mean, they were good as well. They absolutely deserved the point if you look at the game statistically. 12 shots to their 16. Obviously, Liverpool had more possession, but it wasn't a whitewash by any stretch of the imagination. They were good, man. It's going to be really interesting. I'll see how Liverpool lined up against Porto the other day. Let's have a look. Let me get those lineups on screen right now. And it's pretty much as you were, you know. They've got their midfield now. Mane, Jota, Salah, but then Jones, Fabinho, Henderson. That seems to be their current choice. It's the same team, essentially, as Brentford, but with Milner at right back. And I'm almost certain we're going to see the same again, basically. It pretty much is the same. The other day, of course, they scored a bunch of goals. Salah, Mane, Firmino. Firmino might start. He scored a couple of goals, which is obviously huge for him. I think Firmino might start this game. I think he might do. Let's have a look at how they played against Crystal Palace as well. They were comfortable in this game, but Konate played. Tsimikas was at left back with Milner at right back. But once again, Salah, Jota, Mane. Even though, of course, Firmino was actually he wasn't available for that game actually. So yeah, I mean, I think we might see Firmino play for them. But either way, Liverpool are a very good side with a whole bunch of very good players. In terms of how I think it's going to go down, look, this isn't going to be easy, is it? It's going to be difficult. Salah is scary, man. He is a very good player. He's got immense amount of quality. But to be honest, I do feel like we should feel confident about this game. I don't mean not confident to win, but confident in this team's commitment and this energy. I mean, you've got to look at it in this way. I mean, Chelsea game was huge for us. We sent shockwaves around the Premier League with that performance, I reckon. The pundits had almost written Manchester City off a little bit, and then we reminded the world just how good we can be. We were absolutely fantastic, you know. A really, really, really impressive performance. And I would not be surprised if we see something of that level of quality again. I really wouldn't. Having said that, it isn't going to be easy. The Anfield crowd will feel like they have a point to prove. Liverpool will saying, oh no, we've not lost yet, with fans in front of them in terms of against Manchester City, so they will be up for it as well. And that's going to be a factor, man. It's going to be a factor. They are a better side than last season. They are up there with Chelsea as our main rivals. It could be for Liverpool that if they beat us, they are the favourites for the Premier League. I mean, do not put that past them. Having said that, we saw, as Brentford showed, that they can be got at. And Manchester City are more than capable of that as well. But this team does not need to know how to be focused, this Manchester City side. They are winners. They've proven it time and time again. And I've got immense amounts of faith and trust in this team. Having said that, Liverpool are fucking good, man. They are really good. And the problem we know is that when you play some of the best teams in the world that we have over the past week in Chelsea, and in particular PSG for this example, if you don't take your chances or you play just very good, the other team are more than capable of beating you even without playing well, because they have the quality of Messi. Or Liverpool, in this sense, have the quality of, Mane or Salah or something like that. So we need to be really... We have to be perfect, essentially. Away at Anfield, you have to be perfect, unless Liverpool aren't. But there's a good chance they're going to be up for this, man. So we can't really afford any mistakes, and we can't afford any sloppiness, because there's no real let-up when you're playing a team of Liverpool's quality away at Anfield. They are brutal. And they're fantastic. And they will feel, whether it's fair or not, they'll feel like they've got something to prove. It's going to be a really, really interesting game. Guys, please do hit the subscribe button, by the way. It'd be lovely, if you don't mind, hitting the subscribe button and that like button. My prediction, I will say, I am going for a really, really stale game of football, genuinely. I think it's going to be tight. tense. I think Liverpool will come out the blocks absolutely aggressive, alive. But for what it's worth, I think Ruben Diaz will really cajole the troops. And I think Bernardo Silva knows how to have a big performance against Liverpool. And I reckon he'll be up for it as well. Initially, I thought it was going to be an entertaining kind of 2-2 kind of game. But as Jimmy said in the chat as well. But I reckon it's going to be a really, really poor game of football. It's a draw. I'm going for a draw, a 0-0 or a 1-0. I wouldn't be surprised with a result either way. This is honestly, you can play Manchester City versus Liverpool 10 times and get 10 very different results. And that's not because either side is better than the other or anything like that. It's just genuinely because of the intensity of the occasion, the quality both players have, both sides have in terms of players. And it's going to be really, really difficult. Really, really difficult. But let's enjoy it, man. Let's enjoy it. That is my prediction. It's going to be really, 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 really interesting. Guys, thank you so much for joining in. I've really enjoyed this live stream. Sorry about the technical difficulties at the start. It was difficult. I want to say once again as well, football prizes, I'm working with them on this. And what football prizes is, you can get a chance to enter these competitions. You can win a signed Jack Grealish shirt, man, in a custom frame Manchester City shirt, all authentic as well. All you got to do is enter in the link in the description below. It costs $5.95, but it's 20% off. So that, my quick maths is like, well, it's essentially 10% would be like 60p off. So essentially you can go and enter over there, and it's only 99 tickets available. So you've got really good odds to win a very expensive shirt. And more interestingly, go and enter the Burnley one as well, man. Like 99p, you could win Tunnel Club tickets worth hundreds of pounds. That'd be really, really, really interesting. Guys, thank you so much for watching this live stream. Let me know your predictions down in the comments. Let me know how you think we'll line up and what you're feeling about this game. It's going to be nerve-wracking. I will be live tomorrow morning with a Liverpool fan, the Anfield Agenda. I did a video over on his channel chatting about the game, and I'm going to return the favour and chat with him tomorrow morning. I'll see you around midday, I reckon, tomorrow. For now, though, come on, City. It's going to be interesting. Like, comment, subscribe. Big love to every single one of you in the chat, and I'll catch you all very, very soon. See you later, guys.